Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Hope everyone is having an awesome day. And it has been a little bit of time since I made a Raptor video, and I'm really glad to kind of talk more about this truck and share a little bit more about it with everyone on the channel. But first things first, now that the summer traffic here has died down, we can come back and have this beautiful view in the backdrop of the truck. It's really nice to be able to take the truck out on the beach and not have to worry about all the tourist traffic. Today's video specifically is actually talking about the 5 things that I love about owning the Ford F-150 Raptor after 1 full year of ownership. So diving right into the list, the number 1 thing that I love about the Ford F-150 Raptor is the brand recognition. And what I mean by that is everyone talks about this unique allure that the Raptor has. It's been the king of the hill for such a long time now. And it hasn't just been the king of the hill, it's gone uncontested and unchallenged. A lot of that brand recognition kind of comes off of the fact that this truck has a lot of unique components to it that other trucks have always tried to mimic over the years. It all kind of starts with the front end of this truck. If you guys are familiar with the Raptor, which I'm sure everyone is, it really all gets kicked off by these 3 lights in the front grille that have become very synonymous with the Raptor brand. And everyone has seen a non-Raptor, at least some other variation of another truck, whether it's a Tacoma or if it's a Ford F-350 or if it's a Dodge Ram, that's gone ahead and tried to mimic and be like the Raptor by putting the 3 lights inside of it as an aftermarket add-on. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, the other day I saw a Kia Optima, I'll throw a picture up on the screen, that actually was trying to mimic the Raptor lights. And in all fairness, that really does speak to the image that this truck carries and how everyone really does kind of look at it as the king of the hill. So that unique lighting does also carry over into the wider fenders, which also have a little bit of a marker light on each side of it. And that extra light is part of the 5 lights that go in the front of the vehicle. Because this vehicle is so wide, it's required by the DOT to have additional marker lights in the front. Ford kind of started that grille LED light trend with the first generation Raptor, and so many people have since kind of copied that look, but it still stands synonymous with the Raptor name. But apart from just that front end, the other thing that you get with the Raptor is a wider stance, the bigger tires, the off-road front and rear steel bumpers. Along the back, you get this really nice tailgate applique that's exclusive to the Raptor with the Raptor badges. Throw in the functional extraction vents over here, and you also get some extraction vents up in the hood. This doesn't actually suck in air because this is a V6 twin turbo, so it's really just taking heat from the engine bay and extracting out. But apart from all those visual aesthetics, what I truly mean by brand recognition is the fact that the Raptor is kind of like the Corvette in that it's its own sub-brand within Ford's umbrella. More specifically, I tell everyone that I have an F-150, if they happen to see me in the truck, then they're going to know it's a Raptor. That's kind of speaking to the brand recognition that the Raptor is kind of its own truck. And I know I'm going to get people in the comment section that are going to come out and say, hey, you know, it's part of the F-150 lineup, it's an F-150. I get that, but for some reason, I don't know how to explain it any different than the fact that the Raptor is just kind of this own presence in Ford's lineup. That segues into the second thing that I love about the Ford F-150 Raptor, and that is the interior of the truck. In 2019, Ford offered this blue interior accent package, and I have to say this is still hands down my favorite feature of the Ford Raptor. I made a dedicated video when I got this truck about how much I loved these seats. If you want to go check that video out, it is linked in the description below. But after 1 full year, this still remains my favorite part about the Ford Raptor because these seats are just extremely comfortable. The material finish is really good, it's very durable, the bolsters do a really great job of holding you in. And so what that means is when you're kind of pulling tight corners, you're using this truck on the road as more of a performance-oriented truck, these seats do a great job of keeping you in place. And of course, they have this really nice stencil that says Recaro on it, so it's the little touch that stands out. But on top of that, rest of the interior also is something that I like. People tend to harp on this truck because they say that it's got a lot of hard materials, it's got hard plastics, and it's got big knobs. The screen obviously isn't as big as some of the more luxury-oriented pickup trucks on the market, but I personally love this interior for a couple of different reasons. And the biggest one being is that at the end of the day, this is a truck. It's designed to be used as a truck, and it's kind of a blend of performance fun as well as some work capability. So having the harder touch materials everywhere, if you have work gloves on, you can kind of use all the buttons and you can use all the knobs and not feel bad about it, because they are durable materials at the end of the day. The carbon fiber accents are really nice. I still wish that the carbon fiber that's inside of the trim pieces and then the gloss finish all kind of matched to have one theme, but I really don't want to knock these hard plastics because I personally like it a lot, and I would rather this be harder plastic than soft touch material that can't get abused as much as some of these harder plastics can. And then obviously that really cool front interior also carries over in the back. You guys have seen this before. There's this nice little blue suede insert going across the two outer sides. But overall, this is such a nice interior, and I think this really sets it apart from other trucks on the market. Ford did a good job in 2019 of introducing some exclusivity to the inside of the Raptor that the outside of the Raptor has had all these years anyways. Alright, so segueing into the third thing that I love about the Ford F-150 Raptor, and that is the value. I did a full video very recently, so I won't harp too much on this item on the list, but honestly, of all the vehicles that I've owned over the last 4 or 5 years, which has been about 6 or 7 different high-end vehicles, this has depreciated the least of any of those vehicles. And what that means is that even though this vehicle is very expensive, the cost of ownership is very low. If you go onto the used market, you can still find a 2017 Raptor in really good condition for somewhere close to 70% of its original retail value. They only depreciate somewhere around 30% over the first couple years, which some manufacturers depreciate the second you drive off the lot. And so fourth on my list of things that I love about the Ford F-150 Raptor is something not a lot of people talk about, and that's these factory wheels and tires. I grew up dreaming about this truck, and I didn't have the capability to actually afford a Gen 1 Raptor when they first came out. I was fortunate enough to be able to afford a Gen 2 Raptor, and I kept telling myself all the years that I had the posters of the Raptor that the first thing I would do when I got it was swap out the wheels, because I never really liked the wheel design that the Raptor had. But in 2019, these upgraded beadlock wheels I think look really good. Specifically, I'm a fan of these multi-spoke kind of design, and I think this wheel just looks so much better than the previous flat-faced wheels that the Raptor has had for so many generations and so many years. It is finally nice to have a factory wheel that I can actually appreciate, and so this is one of those things that other people might not fall in love with, but I really do like this wheel. And on top of that, I think this BF Goodrich TAKO2 tire is a really good tire. If you've had other big trucks, I have a 99 F350 with a bigger tire than this, slightly bigger. It's a Toyo Open Country AT2, and it's a little bit loud. It might be the truck as well, but this tire is very quiet for how big it is, and compared to other tires of its size, I think it does a really good job of making sure there's not a lot of tire noise coming from this wheel and tire package. And so number 5 on my list of things that I love about the Ford F-150 Raptor is the technology and the driving experience. Everybody knows and everybody raves about how good this truck is off-road, but honestly, I do really like this truck as a daily driver on-road because it does a good job of using modern technology to make this a really fun daily truck on asphalt, as much as it is fun off-road. If you take it into the sand or the dirt trails or the desert or anything that you do with it off-road, it can kind of compete with the same amount of fun you can get on-road because of how quick it is. In terms of technology, what I mean is that you would come to expect for this price point a lot of the finer things. Like, you would expect bolstered steering wheel in a performance truck. You would expect all these kind of nice finishes that they have. I will say these magnesium paddle shifters definitely are one of the best paddle shifters that I've ever felt in a vehicle. It comes with a lot of really cool metrics specifically to the Raptor. It's got the Raptor status section. I think this is something that came out in the last update of the Raptor last month. And that's going to give you your approach and departure angles, which it had before, but on top of that, it's going to give you kind of your pitch if you're going on an incline or a grade, and also your power distribution as well. All stuff that's existed in some of the other F-150s and Super Duty products, but in the Raptor, it's a little bit more useful when you're driving off-road. What I really like about technology is the Ford Pass app, because it allows you to remotely turn on and off the truck, lock and unlock it, check your location, your fuel history, where the truck's been driven. So it gives you all that information from your phone, and it doesn't charge you a monthly service fee like some other manufacturers do. GM. And there you have it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. These are the 5 things that have stood out to me and that I've loved about the Raptor. And if this is your dream truck like it has been for me for many years now, I promise you that this truck is going to live up to the hype. It truly is in every way one of the best all-round vehicles, not just from an off-roading perspective. I think it's very practical, it's very fun, it's very fast. This EcoBoost may not sound great, but this truly is one of the torquiest motors that I've ever driven. And trust me, she boogies. This thing moves. Now that the Kia is gone, this is my daily driver, and I'm telling you, even after a year, every time I get into this vehicle, I have so much fun just driving it. Whether it's on dry pavement, it's in snow, it's in water, this thing can spin sideways, the rear end can kick out because it just has a lot of power, and that's what makes it fun. You get all the technology, you get all the practicality with the huge interior, the big back seat, the truck bed. You can put a lot of stuff in here, you can tow. It's just such an all-round good daily vehicle. And all of that comes with one of the lowest depreciation numbers that I've seen in any vehicle that I've had over the past couple of years. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up. If you're looking for more Raptor content, you're on the market for a Raptor, check out some of the other videos on the channel. And if you want to support the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, until the next video, take care, and I will see you in the comment section below.